Hello. Hello, friends. We're going to get ready to do some hamstring stretching yoga today. So I'm going to show you some of the options that I have pulled out for options that might help the practice be a little bit more manageable. So you definitely want to have a blanket. So maybe get a throw blanket off your couch or your bed and roll it up in what I call the blanket log. Or if a blanket's not accessible, maybe get one of your throw pillows. It'll be very similar. We're going to do restorative fish at the end, and this will help to open your chest and lungs. Then we're going to work on some hamstring stretches that you might want a block and a strap. But if you don't have a block and a strap, maybe some options you might have around your house are a great big thick book that you can use like a prop, or maybe you have a foam roller you might be able to use from either side. You just want to make sure it doesn't roll a lot if you are using it for stability. And then if you don't have a strap, maybe have a long scarf that you can use. And then at the end for relaxation, if you have an eye pillow, you might want to grab it, or maybe a wash rag or a towel just to block any light to avoid extra sensations from your eyes. And if you have any essential oils that are relaxing, you can get lavender, or if you just don't want to have extra relaxation, you can get any scent that you want to add to your wash rag, eye pillow, or towel, hand towel, or anything that you have available. So I'm going to give you a moment to go grab any of those items. I'm going to take some of these extra items out of the space just so that you'll be able to see me a little bit better as we practice. So we're just taking a moment to gather props and supplies, anything. Even if you want to go get a saucepan, you can use it for a block for support. You can even use a blanket for a block or a strap. It'll just be a little bit more cumbersome to hold on to. And so since I'm going to use these at the end of practice, I'm going to set those further out of the way and just have these items at the front of the mat. So we're going to get maybe just one more minute to get your stuff ready. Thank you all for joining me if you're live or watching this later. I'll also put it on my YouTube channel, Clarissa Pyatt Yoga, on YouTube, and you can watch it at your own convenience whenever you like, or if you really enjoy watching it live and you want to do it another day, you can have that available. So when we're ready, we're going to find a comfortable seated position. So I'm seated in hero's position, resting my hips on my heels with my knees bent. This is Bella May. She may join us for part of our practice today. She may not. She just kind of roams around. If you have a dog or kids, they may roam around with you as well. And so that's part of the fun of doing at-home yoga. You get to have a little extra people and entertainment in your space. So from our hero's position or any other position that's comfortable for your body, maybe the legs are straight or you're in Indian style crisscross, whatever it feels comfortable. We're going to start to breathe. So think about your inhale, pulling the ribs up to the sky, top of the head stretching towards the ceiling. Feel your shoulders relaxing with our exhale. So still trying to keep a long spine. Inhale, pulling the ribs up. Exhale, relaxing down. So we're noticing that deep breath, trying to pull it all the way into the belly on the inhale. Resting back out of the belly as we exhale. Trying to get our diaphragm to activate. We need to really expand and work on our lungs since we're fighting a lung illness in our communities. Really trying to get our lungs as healthy and strong as possible. Now with our shoulders rest, our spine tall, let's release an ear to the shoulder. Help our neck to start to open. Shoulder blades are trying to relax as the side of the neck stretches. Let's lift up tall and releasing over towards the other side. So we stretch our top of the head to the sky. Let's slide our shoulder blades up and down a few times. Just give it a little bit of movement through your shoulders. Any range of motion, any pace of movement. And then as you feel your shoulders relaxing, let's rest our arms to our side, palms opening. Our inhale pulls the fingertips towards the sky. Exhaling, thumbs down into the heart. Inhaling as we lift and tall. Exhaling as we relax down. Let's do one more breath. Inhale, lengthening. Exhaling, resting. Let's send one arm towards the sky, pulling the arms in opposite directions. Really feel that side body stretching out. From here, you can stay tall and lifted. You can send the arm over the head. Feel the rib cage opening as we breathe. Moving back to neutral. Let's send the other arm up to the sky, lifting the ribs, stretching tall. Maybe we send the arm overhead, letting the side rib cage open as we stretch and release. Moving to neutral. Let's inhale, holding both arms up to the sky. Exhaling as we twist to the side, lifting the ribs on the inhale, twisting into the exhale. Moving back to neutral, inhaling tall. Exhaling towards the other side, lifting and release. So we come to neutral, inhaling heart to the sky. Exhaling thumbs into the heart. Finding our way to all fours. Let's send the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Find that neutral spine. The inhale begins to pull the heart open, feeling that openness in our lungs, in the cow. And then exhale, lifting the ribs up to the sky, folding and releasing, finding the cat. And we're flowing that movement as we breathe. Inhale, lifting the heart open. Exhale, folding the ribs in. So we're getting just that release through the spine as we breathe. And then our spine can just move like this as long as you're feeling a good release as we stretch up and down. Let's find our way to neutral and start folding side to side. Shoulders towards the hips on one side, shoulders towards the hips on the other side. Creating just a little bit of release through our spine, hips towards the shoulders, shoulders towards the hips, folding in through the rib cage. As we find our way back to neutral, we're going to send this right heel back behind us. Now let the right ball of the foot press in to the mat, and you can feel the back of the heel lengthening away from the back of the head, pulling and stretching through the spine. And you can feel that stretch and release through your ankle, through the calf, all the way through the back side of the leg. As your ribs come in, we're going to start to move this straight leg up and down. Just a little bit of movement, lifting and releasing. Now as our heel slides out in line with our hip, maybe the left fingertips come forward, maybe the left arm stretches out. Now we can stay here. We can add some movement, maybe opening out to the side, back to neutral. Just a little stretch, out and in. We can stay with the out and in movements. Maybe we lift up and down a few times. As we're ready, releasing that side, stretching the other leg out. The ball of the foot feels the back of the mat, back of the heel lengthens away from the back of the head, stretching into our spine. Feel that stretch and reach through the heel, through the calf, reaching and stretching. If your palms are feeling uncomfortable, you can always make fists for wrists, so choosing where you feel the most stable. Now the straight leg can start moving up and down. Getting a little bit of lengthen and releasing action. As our heel lengthens out from the hip in stillness, this right fingertip has the option to reach forward or to the sky, and then we can hang out, lengthening in stillness. We can choose to move out and into the diagonal and back to neutral. Finding any movement pattern that works the best today. You stretch and release. Try breath. As we find our way back to neutral, releasing down, resting in child's pose. Feeling relaxation through the tailbone, the ribs, the shoulders. Again, if our knees don't feel like bending like this, we can always lift the hips and rest the head to the floor, the forearms, or the hands, and breathe. Now we are welcome to continue in child's pose. Maybe we slide the palms forward, lengthening out our spine, creating this kneeling plank. Continuing in our kneeling plank, or exhaling elbows in towards the rib cage, finding rest in our hips, and then inhaling, heart open. Lower belly pulls us back to child's pose, resting in our child's pose, or we can choose a downward dog. Tucking into the toes, tailbone to the sky, keeping the knees bent, maybe the legs lengthened towards straight. Maybe we pull one thigh forward, the other thigh back, and go a stretch into our breath. We're welcome to hang out, find a little stretch. Whenever we're ready, reaching our feet towards our hands, however you choose to get them there in our forward fold. Fingertips can rest on the floor. If you have a block or a pot or a foam roller or whatever you're using, a little extra support or a book, you can rest your hands on it, or the shins or the thighs, let your shoulders relax. Maybe your head and neck feel just a little bit of up and down movement. Maybe just a little bit of side to side movement. Maybe a little bit of up and down again. With our inhale, let's lengthen out just halfway. Pushing into the heels, inhaling and guiding our fingertips towards the sky. Reaching just as tall as they can go. Feel that stretch from the heels to the fingers, and then releasing the arms to the side. So with our shoulders relaxing, let's roll the arms. Rolling through our wrist, rolling through our elbows, rolling through our shoulders. Bella's showing off her yoga moves with her downward dog and upward dog. She doesn't do it on command, so you only get to see it when she feels like it. Now from here, we're going to stretch wide. So maybe we're going sideways on our mat. Choose where you feel comfortable. Guiding toes towards the corners and fingertips to the sky. So we're finding this 5-point start. With our exhale, tailbone pushes back, elbows come in. Inhale, lengthening, exhaling back. Now being mindful that our knees are drawing towards the toes, keeping our patella and that femur tibia track. Now we can keep this flow up and down. You can add the scooping arms, fingertips towards the floor, fingertips towards the sky, still pushing that tailbone back. Inner thighs helping to lift us, outer hips helping to press us back. Finding that lift, finding that release, taking just a moment to breathe. Now the next time we stretch out tall, we're going to lift one heel, lift the other heel. Feel that stretch through our feet, shins, the calves. Now you can stay with this movement, or you can start lifting up a toe on one side, lifting up a toe on the other side. We're going to reach our palms together, thumbs come to the heart. You can walk, step, or jump your feet back to neutral. Take a deep breath. Inhale, lift up, heart to the sky. Exhale, swan diving down, shoulders releasing. Let's slide the right knee back behind us. Left heel comes forward. Hands on either side of the front leg. The inside the front leg, if you have block, pot, book, you want to use for a little extra length in the arms. We can inhale, hips and heart pressing forward. Exhaling, hips and thighs releasing back. Choosing any range of motion, any pace of movement as we find that flow through our hips and thighs, creating relaxation with our breath. You're welcome to keep the movement flowing. If you feel good about it, we're find stillness in either option, keeping the spine tall, maybe sinking the heart towards the thighs, creating relaxation and rest into our breath. Our inhale sends our hips and heart open, expanding into our lungs. With our exhale, resting back to our child's pose, creating just a moment of release. Continuing with child's pose, maybe we're sliding forward, choosing that plank or kneeling plank, hanging out. Our elbows can fold into our ribs, resting the hips, and then inhale, lifting the heart. Lower belly pulls the heart back to child's pose, resting and releasing. As we're ready, The right foot can help its way forward into our lunge, sliding that heel up under the knee. Arms on either side of front leg, maybe on the inside, maybe using that block. Our inhale can draw the hips and heart forward. Our exhale can relax our hips and thighs back. So we're choosing any movement pattern that works today, being mindful that we're not pushing the knee over the toes, just towards the toes, keeping our joints stable and happy as we find a little bit of release into our breath. And if you have a lot of harder surface under your knees, you can unravel some of that blanket from its blanket log and use it or the towel underneath your knees for a little extra support for your knee joint. Now we're going to end up in stillness. Half pyramid lunge, whichever feels better. Keeping that tall spine, maybe reaching the ribs a little closer towards the thighs, choosing that stretch that works the best today, and breathe. As we send our heart forward, feeling that openness in our lungs, we're guiding our back toes towards our front toes and resting in our forward fold of choice. Maybe fingertips down, shin, thigh, knees bent or straight, your choice. Our head and neck can feel a little bit of up and down movement, maybe a little bit of side to side movement, maybe a little up and down again. With our inhale, let's lengthen out halfway. Ground through the heels. Let's inhale and lengthen up all the way. Heart to the sky. Then twisting. Inhale, lifting, exhaling one arm forward, the other arm back. Inhaling tall, exhaling to the other side. Just a few breaths, warming up our shoulders, warming up the rib cage, preparing the body to get a little relaxation and release for our spine, for our legs. As we come to neutral, lift the heart. Legs straight or soft in the knees. Let's hinge from the hip, find an airplane. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, hinging towards halfway. Inhaling, lifting up. Do a few deep breaths. Exhale, hinging. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, hinging. Inhale, lifting. This time we're going to swan back down. So add that deep bend in the knees. Sending the left leg behind us. Option to have the back knee lifted or lowered. Adding a twist, left palm under the shoulder, rib towards the front thigh, right fingers towards the sky. Breathe. Resting down, stretching back, choosing child's pose or downward dog, or any other position of rest you're feeling good about. Our inhales can send us to plank or kneeling plank. With our exhales, maybe we send the shoulders towards the fingertips, bend the elbows towards the ribs. Inhaling, lifting. If we're choosing upward dog, that's thighs, hips, and heart open. Lower belly pulls our hips back, finding our way into rest. Taking just a moment to breathe. Let your bodies release. Feel a few resting exhales. Helping that left foot find its way into our lunge. That knee can be lifted or lowered, your choice. Right palm under the shoulder, rotating ribs to the front thigh, left arm to the sky, and breathe. And then we're releasing back, choosing child's pose or downward dog, and getting just a little stretch through our legs, resting into our breath. Letting that inhale pull the right foot up to the sky, finding three-legged dog. Helping this right foot into our lunge, wiggling the heel under the knee, pulling the hips and heart forward. So we're going to ground the back heel. Reach the heart open, finding the warrior two. Reaching through the fingertips, sinking into the hips. So we're going to flow the movement of the front leg. Inhaling, front leg towards straight. Exhaling, outer hip pulls that front knee back towards the toe. A little bit of movement. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, releasing. Just a little stretch and rest into the breath. Now as we find our way, lengthening tall, let's send the arms to one side, arms to the other side. Just a little bit of flowing through our ribs as we breathe. And then from here, start to twist side to side. So Get a little bit of movement through the rib cage. Now as we come towards this front leg, we're going to rest fingertips on the front thigh, not putting weight, just resting, so we can push the ribs and the heart forward. You're going to feel maybe a little bit more intensity through the thigh and the hip, really engaging those inner heels, pulling in as your ribs and heart stretch forward. Let's deepen the bend in the front knee, relax. Maybe we find the lunge of our choice, option to twist. Reaching back, child's pose to downward dog. Maybe just a little bit of relaxation, maybe just a little bit of movement, finding plank or kneeling plank to hang out. You can lower with control, inhaling and lifting, exhaling and resting, taking a moment to breathe. Let your body have a few resting breaths. Give your body just a moment of relaxation. From a downward dog, we're welcome to pull that left foot up to the sky to three-legged dog, helping our left heel find its way forward into our lunge, heel resting under the knee, back heel grounding sideways as we stretch open to our warrior two, shoulders relaxed. Let's find a little flow. Inhaling front leg towards straight, exhaling outer hip brings knee back towards the toes. So we're finding a little lift, a little relaxation, getting stretch and rest into our breath. And the next time we lift up tall, stretching the arms up, moving just a little bit over to one side, a little bit over towards the other side. Feel that stability through your ribs as you stretch and release. Arms out to the side, add that twist towards the front leg, back to the side. Just a little bit of rolling movement in our spine. Now we're going to turn towards this front leg. Pull the ribs in. Stretch the ribs forward. Fingertips can rest on that front thigh, but not pushing weight on it. Still lifting through the core. Inner heels pulling in towards each other. Heart reaching to the front toes. Feel that stretch through the front thigh as we breathe. Let's deepen the bend in the front knee. Fingertips relax to the floor. Finding our way back to the lunge of our choice. And then maybe we're twisting, turning towards the front thigh. And then relaxing all the way back. Maybe child's pose, maybe downward dog, maybe we're hanging out, maybe we're flowing, finding plank or kneeling plank. We can exhale, elbows into ribs, inhaling, expanding lungs, and then exhaling it back. Taking a moment to breathe, creating relaxation into our breath. Just wherever we're at, resting with our exhales. Option for three-legged dog with their right to the sky, getting belly kisses. Sending our right foot forward, belly foot, put my right foot forward, please. Thank you. Now this time you might want to use your block, your pot, your foam roller inside this front leg. As your back heel feels the ground, and lift up back to our warrior two. Stretching our front leg. Let's find our triangle. Inner thighs lifting to the sky. Exhaling, reaching towards our front toes. Pulling the ribs up, reaching the ribs forward. Feeling that stability through the obliques, through the thighs, the hips. This front hand is resting either on the thigh, the shin, the block, or the floor. Arms lengthening maybe away from each other. Top hand can always relax on the side wherever you're feeling a good stretch. And lengthen through the spine, lift through the inner thighs and breathe. Now we're going to rotate towards the front leg. So you can rest your hands on your block. You can rotate the hips and even heel toe this back foot in and forward. I think Bella kind of skewed that view a little bit, maybe. So with both hips, toes, ribs, reaching forward, hand on the block. If we don't have a block, you can do fingertips up to the thigh. You just don't want to push weight in your leg because it's not meant to be a cane. It's just meant to be a support and focus. So if we have a block or a pot or foam roller or a book, we're going to use that for a little extra support. We're still not pushing all our way into it, but it's just there, again, for that focus and support. So inner thighs come in, lower belly comes in, our ribs reach to parallel. So think about really extending through the back of the hips, through the back of the head. Now we can stay here. You can turn this into a rotation by pulling your rib cage towards the front thigh. This back hand can hang out on the hip. The back arm can pull up to the sky and stretch. Wherever that rotation is for your body today, lengthen and stretch. Then we're going to return to neutral, deep bend in the front knee. Find our way back into our lunge. If you'd like to twist your lunge, reaching heart to thigh. A little easier from the lunge than that triangle position. So we're going to stretch back to child's pose, downward dog, wherever you'd like to relax. Maybe we're feeling like movements, guiding our bodies to plank or kneeling plank. We can hang out for some strength. We can exhale, bending elbows in, inhaling, lifting heart, exhaling, finding a moment of rest. Let your body release a few resting exhales. I have such a good little audience today. That's doing so good. Thank you, Bella. Now we have that other side. So if we're in a downward dog, option is send that left foot up to the sky, helping our left heel find its way into our lunge. And again, this is where we have the opportunity to use the block, the pot, the book, the foam roller, whatever we have available. If that didn't work on the other side, choose a position that we're not using the props. So we're going to find our way to warrior two, shoulders relaxed. We're inhaling the front leg towards straight. Create inner thigh engagement, lower belly engagement. Find our triangle. Exhaling, drawing our ribs towards the front leg. Keep the stability through our thigh and our hip. Front hand rests on the thigh, the calf, the block, the floor. Find that length through the back of the head, the back of the hips. Back hand can rest on the hip or up to the sky. You can choose wherever you're feeling length through the side body and breathe. Opening the lungs, creating that stability in the hips. Now we're going to rotate forward, turning our ribs towards the front thigh. Resting both hands maybe not on the block. If we're not having that available, maybe fingertips on the thigh, just to find that stability and focus. Now, a lot of times it's more comfortable to bring the hips neutral when we're turning, just to help the whole pelvis through the top of the head find that neutral spine before rotation. So if you like to heel toe your back foot in a little bit for stability, create an inner thigh, lower belly, hip, rib, shoulder alignment. And again, you can just enjoy this stretch. So we lengthen through the back of the head, the back of the hips. We can always enjoy the stretch that our body feels the best about. If we're feeling good about a rotation, let's rotate the heart towards the front thigh. The hand can come up to the hip. We can extend fingertips to the sky, creating that openness in our lungs as we breathe, stretching and reaching through the ribs. And then we're releasing back, deep bend in the front knee. You can continue with the block or relax it. Maybe we twist in our lunge, a little bit easier to rotate. And then releasing back, choosing child's pose, maybe downward dog, any position of rest that feels good, hanging out. Maybe we find plank or kneeling plank. Maybe we exhale, elbows into the ribs, inhaling, expand the lungs, exhaling, resting back. Just a moment to breathe, get the body to relax, a few deep breaths. Now we're going to have that option for three-legged dog with the right foot guiding up to the sky, helping our right foot stretch wide outside the right hand. Now the back knee can be up, the back knee can be down, you can choose. You can have palms under the shoulders. If you have a block, it might be wide enough for both hands to rest onto where you have a little bit more shoulder stability. If you have a pot, it might not be the best, but you can have one hand on it. But feels better, or find a comfortable position that works the best for your body today. So with our inhales, let's send our hips and heart forward. With our exhales, resting hips and thighs back. So we're feeling maybe a little flowing movement. Feeling the stretch, the hips and the heart flowing forward and back as we breathe. Now as we sink our hips back, feel the ribs relaxing inside the front thigh. Resting and releasing here as we breathe. Then we're going to draw the hips and heart forward, palms hanging out under the shoulders, maybe our elbows rest on the block if we have a block available. Our elbows are also welcome to just rest under the shoulders, pushing the forearms into the ground and lengthening the top of the head towards the thumbs as we breathe, creating that rest and relaxation into our breath. If we've lowered the elbows, we're going to lengthen up the arms, and I'm going to let this back knee relax if we've had it up. With our inhale, actively pull in the heart just as far forward as it wants to go, and then exhale and release it back and sink the heart inside the thighs and breathe. Now we're going to have an option to hang out here. If your hamstrings are feeling pretty relaxed today, you can start to lengthen the leg out to the side like you're going to create a Y, capital Y, on one side with your leg, and sink your hip towards the ground. I call this like the Y split. Not a complete full split, but just a partial one. And then lower belly picks the lower heel back in. Now, as we bend this front knee, we're going to have the option to child's pose, to downward dog. Maybe we feel like floating the front foot up to the sky to a three-legged dog, and it can hang out. We can inhale, plank, kneeling plank, or this one-legged plank. As our foot rests, we can fold in. Maybe inhale and open, and then exhale, relax wherever you're feeling a good stretch. Take a moment to breathe and create relaxation through our exhales. So take just a moment to rest. Find a few deep breaths. Now, we like that three-legged dog. We can take left foot up to the sky. Find that stretch that works the best, helping the left foot come wide outside the left palm. Finding that knee up or down. We can inhale, stretch the hips forward, exhale the hips back, creating just a little bit of flowing movement as we breathe, creating that reach and release into our breath. That knee can be up or down at any time. It doesn't have to stay in one position that we've started in. As we send our hips back, sinking the heart towards the inside of the front thigh, shoulders, head and neck releasing. Drawing forward, feeling that reach through our spine, hanging out with palms under the shoulders, maybe elbows under the shoulders. Again, option for elbows on the block. If you have a foam roll, it might be long enough for you to release both elbows on that for a little extra support. Pot may or may not be long enough for that. Continuing to breathe wherever our bodies have led us into our stretch for today. And then we're reaching the palms back underneath the shoulders. If we've had our back knee lifted, we're going to relax it. And then let our inhale push the hips and heart just as far forward as they can go. With our exhale, we're sinking our hips back, resting the heart inside the thighs, shoulders relaxing, finding that moment of rest. So we're continuing to relax, or maybe we slide this front heel wide, so you're making that capital Y with the other side, pulling the lower belly in for support, resting into our hips, taking a moment to breathe, wherever that option led your body today. And lower belly kicks in, sliding that front heel back. We'll all bend that front knee. Option of child's pose, taking the front foot back to downward dog or back up to the sky to three-legged dog to hang out. Maybe we inhale, plank, kneeling plank, or kind of one-legged plank. We can rest the foot and then exhale, elbows to ribs. Inhaling, lifting lungs. Exhaling it back. Take a moment to breathe, wherever that means for your body, creating relaxation and rest into our breath. Now as we guide our feet up to our hands, rest our shoulders. Now we've relaxed our hamstrings out a bit, so we may have a little bit of options today. So the first option is just trying to lengthen out the legs. So that may be hands on the thighs, shins, block, or floor. You might soften the bend in the knees, have the option to do peace fingers around your big toe, or do gorilla with your palms underneath your foot. You can stretch out your shoulders and your wrists by lengthening out the legs, and you'll feel that stretch through the shoulders, that collarbone, the rib cage, the back of the rib cage. Take a moment to breathe. And then we release here, ground the heels. Let's inhale, pull the heart to the sky. Exhaling, thumbs down to our heart. Take a moment to relax the arms, the shoulders, the ribs, maybe even the lower back. Get a little release side to side through our breath. All right, so we're going to work on some balancing. The first balance I always like to do is our 1 minute tree. So we're going to plant one foot to the floor. We need to stand next to a structure for a little bit more stability. That's available wherever you're at. Maybe find a place. Most people know what tree looks like. So we're going to ground one foot to the floor. You can have the knee bent forward or outer hip to the side. Reaching in, lifting up, plant the palms, find our focal point. Choosing that tree foot, toe on the floor, toe floating, foot to the calf. Maybe helping the foot to the inner thigh if your knee and hip feel good about that option. Keeping the hips, the belly stable, palms continuing at the heart, or resting to the side, or stretching up to the sky. We're continuing to rest into our breath, relaxing with our exhales. One of the focuses when we're moving through yoga postures is being mindful that we're still breathing. A lot of times balancing can be challenging, and a lot of times when we find ourselves in a challenging posture, we have a tendency to want to hold our breath, to be as still as possible. But we need to be able to relax our breath, flowing that fresh oxygenated air into our muscles, creating relaxation and peace into the body as we breathe, and finding that place of rest and relaxation into our breath. So we're continuing to feel just a little strength and relaxation. Your body can stay in your tree as long as you're feeling stable. You come out of the tree, you're welcome to come back into the tree, really trying to find that stability into our breath. And then release out. Whenever you're ready, you give those joints a little bit of movement with straight sides. So the other foot feels the ground. The thigh engaged, knee joint softens. The other knee is either bending forward or out to the side. Creating inner thigh engagement, lower belly engagement, grounding our palms, finding that focal point, choosing that toe position on the floor, floating, finding the calf, maybe the inner thigh, keeping the palms at the heart, maybe resting, the arms, maybe relaxing the shoulders as our fingertips stretch tall. Just being mindful to feel that stability through our hips. We don't want to strike a pose in our tree, but find that length and reach. Also helps us to feel stability as we're thinking about the core stabilizing us instead of thinking about your ankle stabilizing us, because it's a relatively small part of the body. So as we breathe, we're thinking about relaxing into our breath, finding that strength that we think of in like a big, strong, sturdy oak tree that doesn't sway its trunks in the wind. It's strong and sturdy through most anything the world throws its way. And so we're thinking about ourselves being strong and steady amidst anything the world's throwing our way at this moment in time, wherever we are in our lives. Just thinking about feeling that stability through our breath. Now, as we find relaxation, moving our joints just a bit, a little release. So from here, this is where we're going to have the option to use the strap, the block, or the scarf, or if you found a long tie, or if you want to unroll the blanket, you can use it. It's just not as maybe comfortable, but maybe still functional. You can also, if you have the ability to do peace fingers or hands around your foot, you can use your hands. You don't have to use the strap or the scarf. So I'm just going to show you with it. And since the majority of people, I would think, may not have that accessibility of hand to the foot. So we're going to hold on. Let your strap come underneath your toes. See the ball of your foot went underneath the toes. We're going to aim to place that area on the strap. We're trying not to put extra pressure on our arches. They often get a lot of extra pressure, and they don't need that extra pressure most of the time. So from here, you're going to have options. You can just hang out holding on to the top of the strap. If you know you have a little bit more flexibility than the top of the strap, you can secure, if you have a buckle on your strap, you want to secure it, and maybe hold closer to the foot. So as your standing leg takes on the weight, lower belly kicks in, rock your cat back. And as your heel comes forward, maybe just the heel floats off the ground a couple of inches. Maybe it extends heel out from our hip. You can use the opposite arm of this leg for counterbalancing. So as we feel stability through the thighs, maybe we draw the leg out to the side. Still thinking about stabilizing through our pelvis and our hips. Stretching through the top of the head, help lengthen the spine. Sometimes we tend to fold in here. We'll take a few deep breaths. Now we're going to have the option to stay here. You can come back forward, stay here, or we can pull it across the midline of the body, opposite arm stretching away from us. You'll feel a little bit more stretch through your IT band. As we come to neutral, let's relax that side. Give the joints a little healthy release, and we're going to trade legs. So again, you have that ability to peace finger around your big toe or hand to the side of your foot, have at it. You can use the strap at the ball of the foot. If you have a scarf, you may have to have it a little closer towards your arch, just to wherever the thickness of it, you want more of the pull coming from the ball of the foot possible, but it may not be as stable as a strap. So just kind of play with it, but find where it's available for your body. So again, you can hold on towards the top of the strap or secure closer to the foot, grounding the standing leg, lower belly coming in, heel lifting off the ground, maybe just above the floor, maybe lengthen out, reaching into that stable hip, inner thighs, lower belly in, opposite arm for counterbalancing, and maybe the heel reaches out to the side. Keep lengthening through the top of the head, shoulders relaxing, finding that breath, helping our bodies feel strength and peace as we breathe. And maybe we draw our bodies back forward to hang out. Maybe we trade hands holding onto the strap, and then we can pull the leg across the midline of the body, opposite arm, opposite leg, or same arm actually, same leg pulling away from each other as you feel your outer hip stretch and reach. Now we'll come back to neutral whenever we're ready. Deep bend in the knees, wiggle up those joints just a bit. We can rest our strap for a moment, find our way back to the front of our mat, lifting our heart as we inhale, swan diving through the exhale, shoulders resting. So maybe our head and neck feel just a little bit of up and down movement. Maybe they feel just a little bit of side to side movement. Maybe a little up and down again. Let our inhale stretch us up just halfway. Round the heels. Let's stretch back to either child's pose or downward dog, and maybe stretch our legs if we're in downward dog, one thigh forward, the other thigh back, and get a little reach and release as we breathe. Then we're going to rest, finding our way back into child's pose, Shoulders relaxing, ribs relaxing, hips and knees, all finding peace in our stillness. And we're going to find ourselves in our seated position, lengthening up our spine, rocking our hips onto the ground, releasing side to side. We're going to lift the ribs, shoulders rest. Opening out one thigh. Let's fold that foot inside our calf or up to the inner thigh, lifting the heart to the sky. So we can stay tongue lifted. We can hinge to a diagonal, pushing through the tailbone, reaching through the top of the head. We can fold and relax a little further forward. Taking a moment to breathe. The straight leg can always welcome a soft bend in the knees. We're being mindful not to pull into our lower back, but if we're moving with a healthy spine, it's good to have some flexion and release in the spine as we breathe. Now with our tall spine, let's exhale and turn towards our bent knee softly. We can inhale, lengthen, maybe twist a little deeper, and we'll stretch into our breath. And as we come to neutral, we're going to have the option to scoop up the thigh and then press the heel out ahead of us. Maybe move our ankle just a little bit, pointing forward, pointing back. As our heel reaches out, our exhale can lift a little bit taller. Maybe we continue holding on to the thigh. Maybe walk our hands up to the calf. We can hold on to the foot, we can. If you want to use your strap, you can, but holding on to the thigh is always available. Lengthening and resting into the breath. Taking just a moment to breathe. Now the same arm as the straight leg can stay holding on, the bent knee hand can push us into the ground to feel that length in our spine. Now we're going to try to hold the leg up on its own. So bring them in our hands or resting the hands to pull the spine tall, and then we'll rest it out. And you can wiggle out that leg, that straight sides. So the bent knee lengthens. That straight leg thigh opens out, foot comes into the calf or inner thigh, pulling the spine tall to hang out. Maybe we exhale, feel a diagonal line. Maybe we rest a little bit deeper into any variation of this one leg forward fold, letting your bodies find a little peace and rest into our breath. With our inhale, we're lengthening the spine. Let's exhale and twist to our bent knee, reaching the spine tall, and then rotating the spine, creating that relaxation as we rest into our breath. Now moving our ribs back to neutral, scooping up the thigh, tailbone rest, lengthening out the leg, toe stretching forward, toe stretching back. Just a little bit of movement through that ankle joint as we breathe. With our heel pressing out, shoulders rest, let's lift the ribs. Maybe we exhale the thigh a little closer to our chest, continuing. Hold on at the thigh, or maybe our hands find our calf or our foot. We're reaching. Feel that stretch and relax into our breath. Now we're going to feel that lower belly kick in. We're going to rest our hands, lengthen up the leg on its own, using those hip flexors, thighs, muscles to keep that leg strong and stable as we breathe. And then we're relaxing it out, just give that leg a little wiggle. And we're going to let both legs stretch towards straight, rocking our hips side to side. Sometimes we need to have a deep bend in our knees if we know that we're taking care of our lower back and we're being mindful not to add any extra sensations in that area of our body. If we're feeling comfortable folding with both legs straight, you can have the knees bent or straight. We're going to inhale and pull the heart to the sky, shoulders relax. Heart lifts up to the sky on the inhale. Heart reaches to a diagonal line as we exhale. Tailbone lengthens to the back of the head, shoulders resting. hanging out here. Maybe we inhale and lift the heart forward. Exhale, maybe the heart reaches us further. We can stay reaching out through the arms. Our fingertips can rest at any time. We can stay with our heart reaching to the toes, or you can relax your head, neck, shoulders, releasing into any variation of this forward fold that our bodies agree with today. And breathe. That next inhale pulls our spine tall, shoulders relax. So we're going to bend our knees, bringing our feet to the front of our mats. So if you don't want to move once you're on your spine, you have the option to bring these items of comfort that we're going to have access to. I'm going to put them on the side away from the camera just so that you can still be able to see. So you can bring your pillow and or blanket for the restorative fish. You can have your eye pillow, towel, wash rags, maybe go ahead and put your lavender or essential oil of your choice on it. Having that on your side. And then we're going to have that hand to big toe option. So if you want to use your strap, you can. I'm not going to show this time with the strap. I'll show it with just using the hands so that you can see different options without necessarily having to use props, because a lot of times we just don't have things accessible where we're at. So as we find stability through your lower belly, your lower back, we're going to lower to the spine, holding on or reaching out, resting into the shoulders, arms and legs actively stretching away from each other. We're going to take a moment to breathe, pulling the spine tall, and then bending the elbows, shoulders relaxing. Feeling just a little bit of rest and release into our breath. We're bending our knees for bridge pose. Whenever we're ready, heels sliding under the knees towards the hips, shoulder blades wiggling together, forearms pushing into the floor. Then our inhale pulls the inner thighs up to the sky, stretching the heart towards the ceiling, creating as much openness through the front side of the body as we are able to muster and extend and reach into our breath. Just a few releasing exhales. This is a good option of a pose to do for a minute a day, as well as the tree for our bones density strengthening, but also just for immunity, to find that space. It's a mini inversion, so you have your lungs draining out extra mucus that might be finding its way. It can get its way back out, and the body in a little gentler form than downward dog. You can always do downward dog too, or do a restorative downward dog hanging over the side of your couch. Always a good option. Now we can release into our spine, and I'll show you that hand to big toe without using the strap, but you're welcome to use the strap. So if you have the strap at the ball of the foot, you can use the strap for some resistance. As you push the toe to the sky, pull the toe to the ground, you will find more stretch through your foot, through your lower leg. If the strap's not available, we're just going to have some options without it. So with our heel pressing up to the sky, let's exhale, the thigh as close towards the chest as it wants to go today. So notice where you feel good hanging out. So maybe your hand hangs out on the thigh, maybe our hand hangs out on the calf, maybe our peace fingers find the big toe, or our hand just rests on the side of the foot. So you're going to have the option to extend this bottom leg. So maybe it extends softly a little bit, maybe it extends further, but you will feel that it does add extra sensation through the back hamstrings of this top thigh. So just notice where you're feeling good about it. We're going to have the option to stay, heel reaching up to the ceiling, or stabilize your hips, inner thighs engaged. You're going to feel your outer hip just slowly opening the straight leg out to the side while grounding this left hand into your hip and thigh, reminding that left side of the body that it's not its turn yet. It has to wait just a bit before it gets to be a part of the action. And we're breathing wherever that body allows to stretch, creating rest and relaxation into our breath. Now, whenever we're ready, we're going to send that sole of the foot up to the sky. Now you can, we're going to move into a twist. So if you're knowing that you're not wanting to twist today, we can hang out here with a straight leg or a bent knee. You can twist with a straight leg or a bent knee. Now we're going to send the left hand to the outside of the foot or the calf or the thigh, maybe wherever you were holding on with that same arm. And then you can exhale. If you have a straight leg, you can just draw it across the midline of the body and feel a little intensity and release in the IT band stretch. You can go ahead and find this rotation just as far as you feel like it. Maybe the big toe reaches towards the floor, maybe it doesn't. Straight leg isn't the only option. You can also bend the knee or avoid twisting in general. So choose what feels the best for your body today. You get to stay with your body. I get to stay with my body. So find what works for your body today. Now with our next inhale, let's lift back to neutral. If you feel like it, you can exhale and add a little crunch, nose towards the straight leg knee or bent knee. Choose. And then we're going to let this right sole of the foot feel the ground and stretch the left heel up to the sky. Holding on to the thigh or the calf. I wouldn't hold on to the foot for just a moment because we're going to flex through the ankle. But if you are using your strap, you can press with resistance that ball of the foot into the strap as your toes push to the sky and feel the strap pull the ball of the foot and the toes down towards the chest. So feeling just a little bit of release through our legs as we breathe, resting with our exhales. Now from here, again, you can just hang out, reaching up, heel to the sky. We can exhale and let the thigh come a little closer to our chest, holding on with the thigh, holding on with the calf, holding on with the foot with that same arm as the leg. So maybe that's your left. Now you can use your right hand, the same hand as this bottom leg, and use the hand to maybe lengthen out the leg softly. You can keep a bend in the knee. You can extend a little deeper. Maybe it lengthens towards straight, maybe it doesn't. Just notice where your body allows the stretch. Now we can stay here. We can exhale and open the leg out to the side a little bit, feeling that outer hip moving with control. So maybe we try just a couple of inches at a time, because sometimes we go too fast. This bottom leg pulls up with it, and we want that hip and thigh to stay stable on the ground and just let that top leg and hip be a part of that movement as we reach and relax into our breath. If you're enjoying the stretch, you can just hang out here as long as your body feels like it's actively stretching and not just hanging into our joints. Whenever we're ready, we can pull the leg back to neutral. Again, straight leg or bent knee here. We're going to reach this leg across the body with straight leg or bent knee. So take opposite arm to opposite leg. Maybe we're holding on to the thigh, the calf, or the foot. And you can, again, just pull the leg across the midline of the body. Especially if your leg is straight, you're going to feel that IT band, outer hip, engage a little deeper. You can pull a little further, controlling that release as your body stretches. Finding the grounding through your shoulders. Try not to pick up your shoulders as you draw your big toe towards the floor. I have a little puppy dog in my way, so I'm not going to, maybe as far as my leg might have gone if it wanted to. Now, whenever your body's finished twisting, with straight leg or bent knee, choose where you're feeling a good release in the spine. Let's use that core muscles to pull our body back up. And again, if you want to do that little stretch with the exhale, nose up towards the knee with bent leg or straight leg, you can. And then we're going to hug both thighs into our chest. With bent knees, let's rock our spine just a bit side to side. So from here, we're going to have the option to move into any other stretch that your body would like an extra release in today. Maybe that's some windshield wiper movements with our feet wide. We can rock a bit side to side. Now, if you're not a fan of restorative fish, you can prepare for final relaxation You can even do relaxation with restorative fish, but just know that the eye pillow might fall off your head. But if you have a towel or a wash rag, it might stay on, so that might still be accessible. So I'm going to use this blanket and pillow just for a little extra lift. If you have the block, you can use it. It may not be as comfortable, but I'm going to feel that block or that blanket and pillow be under my shoulder blades so that the top of my head can rest on the ground. The arms can be still wherever it's comfortable. The feet can be wherever it's comfortable. Feet wide, knees together. Feet together, knees wide, or legs towards straight. If you have your eye pillow ready, you can reach for it and rest it on your eyes. You may have to hook it on your nose if you're in the restorative fish. If you have a wash rag, it should lay on your face, but you may have to hook it on your nose as well to feel that relaxation without the bright lights. And again, if you don't want to stay in restorative fish for fun relaxation, you can release those props out at any time, and you can return to any relaxing position that your body felt the best in. So if you'd rather relax on your spine or on your belly or on your side or in a seated position, you can choose wherever it's the most comfortable to focus on your breathing. So wherever we're focusing on our breathing, we're going to begin to inhale, expand the lungs. Begin to exhale and relax the lungs. So we're noticing rest and release as we breathe, feeling that breath guide the abdominals up to the sky with each inhale. The breath relax the abdominals into our lower back with each exhale. Allowing that belly breath to activate our diaphragm, traveling that fresh oxygenated breath through our body, noticing peace and rest through each breath. You're welcome to relax in final release and breathing for just as long as your body's feeling a good stretch today. You're welcome to begin to send the breath into our fingers and our toes, to feel the breath releasing our hands and our feet, to relax the breath through our wrists, our ankles, breathing into our lower legs, our lower arms, finding relaxation through our knees, our elbows, feeling rest through our thighs, our hips, our upper arms, our shoulders, gathering the breath into our spine, feeling rest through the tailbone, the lower back, the ribs, the shoulders, the back of the head, the back of the neck. Continuing just as we are, for as long as that feels like a good option for your body. If you'd like to welcome in some movements, maybe we're hugging our thighs into our chest, maybe we're relaxing our spine a bit side to side, maybe even circling your knees a few times in one direction on the ceiling, and circling the other direction a few times on the ceiling. We're welcome to rest onto our side for a moment if that feels like a good option for your body. You can gather in some calming, peaceful breaths through our left nostrils, releasing out anything we just don't need today through our right nostrils down in towards the floor. Feeling that calm and peace or relaxation as we take just a few final breaths on our side. And anytime you'd like to find a comfortable seated position, you're welcome to join me resting on your tailbone wherever your legs are feeling comfortable. Or can you hang out with me for just a minute? We're going to feel our shoulder blades relaxing, feel our palms opening, and then with our inhale, let's travel our fingertips towards the sky, joining the palms as we exhale our thumbs into our heart. Inhaling, lifting, and stretching tall. Exhaling, resting down. Finding one more breath together. Our inhale sends our heart open. Our exhale relaxes our thumbs in. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me so much today. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. If you're in Abilene, enjoy the rain. And maybe we can grab a yoga tomorrow, or you can just live stream again with me tomorrow at 3:30 Sunday afternoon. So have just a wonderful day. Thank you all for hanging out with me. And if you have any requests for videos of certain body parts that you would like to work on, let me know. Okay? Have a great day.